So today's will be Tibetan style, and just lift and roll your shoulders, hands together at the heart centre. And we're going to go straight into it. Hands up, stretch up. And then either hands together and bending the knees come forward. If you're being very Tibetan, I have difficulty in doing this, but you just literally come forward, not bending your knees. I would always suggest from a third point to be bending your knees, but come to touch your hands however you want to. Step back with your right foot, plank, step back with your left foot. You're in a straight line, heels up. And then come in a straight line down via chaturanga, that's quite strong. Hands out, stretching out. And take an in and an out breath. Hands back to the chest, elbows in. Come up onto the knees, tuck the toes, tummy in. Adjust your hands to be comfortable and come into downward dog. I like to slightly widen my feet, but that's up to you. And walk the dog a couple of times. And then extend both feet, stretching out the back, tummy in. To step forward, I'm going to suggest slightly bringing forward the left foot, lifting the right foot behind you. Look with your eyes to the space between your two hands, tummy in, and bending your legs. Step forward with your right foot, step forward with your left foot, hands onto the shins, half lift, breathing out, bending in. And then breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then pressing feet down, rolling up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretch, and then just hands down by the side. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, hands up, stretch up. You can look up. Coming forward how it suits you. I do need to bend my knees. Hands down to the ground. Step back with your left foot, right foot, you're in plank. So your knees are off the ground, heels up, tummy in, perineum up. And then come straight down to the ground, chaturanga. If that's too much for the upper body, strengthen the bend, come down by your knees, hands forward, stretching out, take an in and an out breath. When you're ready, slide your hands back to your chest, elbows in, press your hands down onto your knees, tuck your toes, tummy in. Adjust your hands to feel comfortable and come into your downward dog with the option to widen your feet and walk the dog. Maybe swaying your hips from side to side. And then conversely, slightly bring your right foot forward, lift your left foot and look with your eyes to the space between your hands. Step forward with your left foot, right foot, hands on the shins. Breathing in, breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, lengthen, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press your feet down, bend your knees, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, hands up. Breathing out, lowering arms. We're going to come more to a normal pace, but we will spend longer in downward dog. Okay. So this is generally coming back to something you might be used to, one breath per movement, ish. Hands together at the heart centre. Breathing in, hands up. Stretch. Breathing out, hands down. Breathing in, step back, right, left. Breathing out, come down, chaturanga or via your knees. Breathing in, we're not going to extend the hands, roll the shoulders, press down, come up, tucking the toes, maybe via your knees into downward dog. We are going to let the body recover for a couple of breaths here, walking the dog. And then pressing both feet back. Engage the perineum, tummy comes in. Step slightly forward with your left foot, raise your right. Look to the space between your hands, step forward with your right foot, left foot, hands on the shins. Breathing in, breathing out, curl in. And this time we'll speed it up by pressing our feet down, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, standing. Hands up, breathing out, hands down. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, hands up. Breathing out, hands down. Step back, left foot, right foot, plank. Come to the ground, however that works for you. Breathing in, press your hands down, just slightly come into cobra. Breathing out, lowering your head. Tuck your toes, press down on your hands, coming into dog. Adjust your feet. Recover here in dog for a moment, or walking the dog. And then softly bring your right foot forward, raising your left. Look at the space between your hands. Step up with your left, your right. Hands on the shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Press your feet down, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up and move your hands. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften your knees, hands up, stretch up. Breathing out, come to hands down, stepping back, right foot, left foot, you're in plank. Come down in a straight line, you can put your knees on the ground, come to line. Press your hands down and just move yourself forward, coming into a semi-cobra. Lower your head as you breathe out, tuck your toes. Come to kneeling and then coming to downward dog. Walk the dog. Widen your feet if you need to. Gives the body a chance to recover in the movement. And then stretching both legs back, tummy in. Step forward with your left leg, right leg up. Step forward, right leg, left leg. Palms on shins, half lift. Breathing out, bending in. Pressing the feet down, rolling up. Hands up, lower. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften, hands up, back. Hands down. Step back, left foot, right foot, plank. And then come to line your front. Press your hands down, come slightly forward, scooping up into a mini cobra. Head down, tuck your toes. Coming into dog. Walk the dog here. Take time to recover your breath. And then subtly right foot forward, left foot up, space between the hands. Step forward, left foot, right foot, hands up. Shins half lift, breathing out. Breathe in, press your feet down. Rolling up, stretching up, and lowering your hands. Lift and rolling shoulders, another round. Palms together. Breathing in, up, breathing out, down. Plank, right foot, left foot, straight line. Come to line. Come to up, cobra, or up to up dog. Come back to lying, tuck your toes. Come into dog. Recovering your breath here. Walk the dog. And then step forward with your right foot, your left foot. Hands half lift. Breathing in. Rolling up. Stretch up. Lift and roll your shoulders, hands together, last round or last side. Hands up, lower, step back, left foot, right foot in a straight line. Come to lying on the ground, either cobra or up dog. Lower as you breathe out. Tuck your toes, downward dog. Walk the dog. And then stepping forward with your left foot, your right foot, hands on the shins, half lift. Breathing out, bending. And rolling up vertebra by vertebra, standing. Join your thumbs, just sway from side to side. Lower the hands, bend the knees, and come to lying on the back. Let the body recover. And then extend one heel, relax, the other heel, relax. Just let one heel extend, the other heel. So as you're opening out the hips. Just relax both feet out. Extend toes up and then toes away a couple of times. And then circle the ankles in one direction. And circle the ankles in the other direction. And then relax the toes. Taking in and an out breath. The body should be beginning to slow down. And extend your right heel, raise your right arm, maybe bent at the elbow above you, stretching out. And breathing out, turn your head to the left. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you next breathe in, bring the head back to the centre and breathing out, lower the right arm. Just totally let the right leg drop out to the side. When you're ready, extend the left heel, raising the left arm above you, stretch, and breathing out, turn the head to the right away from the outstretched left arm, and then just breathe in and out. When you're ready, bring the head back to the centre and breathing out, lower the left arm, just release and relax the left foot. And then bend one knee and then the other, so knees are bent, feet on the ground, feet are hip width or wider apart. And just let the knees drift over to the right. Your left hip will lift off the floor and your hands are palms down. Just enjoy the stretch. The more you stretch your left knee into the centre, the more you stretch your body out. Bring the knees back to the centre, you roll across your right buttock and then just let both knees drop to the left. Your right hip will lift. And again, now it's your right knee that has the focus. If you stretch and extend your right knee, you will stretch out the side of the body. Your head will naturally look slightly to the right, perhaps. And then come with the knees back to the centre, and in your own time, just do a few sways with the knees from side to side. And you lift your hips as little or as much as you would like. Keeping the back of the head heavy on the ground, but it does roll slightly from side to side as well. And then come to the centre and hug both knees into the chest. And just repeat that rocking from side to side, but here your feet are off the ground, stretching into the back, the lower back. And your rock can be a little bit or a lot. And then come to the centre and breathing in, extend the left leg and left arm up behind you. Stretch out. Maybe take an in and out breath here. And when you come to connect with your next out breath, lower your arm and hug your left knee into the chest. Just relax here for a moment. And then focus on the right side when you breathe in. Extend your right arm and your right leg. Extending the right heel. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then when you're ready and you next breathe out, hug the right knee back into the chest. And then just very gently rock from side to side. And then just holding your hands underneath your hips, place one foot and then the other foot down onto the ground. Your feet are hip width apart. Raise your arms above you and bend at the elbows so that your arms are above you. You're opening up under your arms. The backs of the forearms are on the ground. So you're opening into the upper lymphatic system. Might be a slight gap under the lower back. Stretching out the front of the body, under the arms, under the... And then just widen your elbows and clasp your head under your hands. Under your hands clasped under your head. And breathing out, flatten your back to the ground and just lift up a little bit. Your elbows might softly come together. And then just relax back down, your elbows widen out. Taking in and out breath. And when you're ready, breathe out, flatten the back to the ground, lifting your head and elbows slightly come together. It's just slightly working on the core, and then just release and relax back down again. As you lift up the next time, elbows come together and elbows aim towards the left. And then just come back to the centre and release and relax. Open the elbows again. And then as you breathe out, coming up to the centre, your elbows come together and you come slightly over to the right. And again, just releasing and relaxing back. And then one final time, breathing out, coming up to the centre. Just feel the abdominal muscles engage to support the lift. And then just breathing out. Release the head to the ground, slide the hands out from underneath your head, and release the palms down alongside you. Just starting with a couple of pelvic tilts. Flapping the back as if you're going to lift the bottom, and then just releasing the other way. So it's a way of bringing movement to the spine very safely. But to strengthen the lower back, which also will have an impact on the core, we'll just take it a stage or two further. So this time, flattening the back, pressing the feet down, lifting the bottom, raising the arms up above you, chin comes to the chest. And you're just stretching out. Your knees are aiming away from you, as if someone's holding your knees and drawing the knees towards them, so they're not splaying out. And then breathing out, lower the back down to the ground. And as it's almost touching, the bottom's almost touching the ground, your arms might then come back down alongside you. And just then relax as you're taking in and out breath. You might want to then think about adjusting your feet. Maybe they come slightly closer towards your bottom. Again, just play with what suits you. And then flattening your back and then lifting your bottom, chin to chest, and raising your arms up above each. really stretch quite some way. You're stretching the tops of the legs, the muscles there. Take an in and an out breath. And then breathing out, lower the bottom back down to the ground and lower the arms back down to the ground. And then just a couple of pelvic tilts once more. And then just subtly press the feet down, lift the bottom out over to the right. Cross the right leg over the left and let your knees drop to the right. That's quite a twist. Your head might go to the left. Just opening up muscles in a slightly different way. Then bring your knees back to the centre. Tummy in. Lift both knees and both legs off the ground. And take your hands just to slide them down your shins. So you're hugging your shins, your ankles, wherever your hands are, in towards you. And you'll feel this at the lower back, the outer hip, the outer right hip. And then just release the feet. Uncross your legs. Press your feet down, palms down. Just subtly shift your bottom to the left, crossing your left leg over your right. And then just dropping, just trying to think there, your legs to the, I think it's the left, isn't it?
Left, yeah.
You can go the other way too. So that for me is really at the edge of something. I can really feel that.
It's left, definitely.
Definitely left. Okay, thank you. And then just relax if you can. And then tummy in again, bring the legs to centre, and then you might want to press your right foot down just to square yourself off and lift both legs off the ground, sliding your hands down your shins again and holding just above my ankles and somewhere on the lower shins. And just feel that opening of the lower back, and you'll feel it across the outer left hip. And then just very gently release the feet back to the ground, uncross your legs. Just ease off by swaying both knees from side to side. And then just stretch your legs out. Just bounce your knees, just stretching out. And then keep your right leg extended, heel extended where it is. Bend up your left leg. This is a lying tree. Open your left knee to the left and place your left foot. Because you're not putting any weight on your right leg, it doesn't matter where the left foot goes, because I'm finding that my left foot is going right next to the right knee. And in a tree, you wouldn't have that. But lying, it doesn't matter. And just feel the opening now in the left hip. When we do trees standing, quite often the focus is on the balance so much that you can miss out on the opening of the hip, the left hip. This does that very safely. You can always have support under your left thigh, at home or here. And by pressing your right heel away from you, you're recreating the balance of tree. can stay with your palms down. You can opt to have your hands on your waist. Or you can also keep your elbows on the ground and have your palms up, almost like cactus arms. And that opens the inner shoulders. So whichever arm position you might prefer. And also there's the option, of course, of sliding your hands right up and stretching fully above you. So it's where you feel comfortable. So we are focusing here on, among other things, the lower lymphatic system and the hips, the thighs opening out like this. And to bring you safely out of this pose, take your left hand, place it on the outer left thigh and support your left leg as you bring it to upright, and then slide your left leg away from you and let both legs drop out to the side, just relaxing. When you're ready, extend the left heel, bend up the right leg and open the right knee to the right, placing the right sole of the foot. It doesn't have to touch the left leg, but it's towards the inner left leg. Just finding your comfortable level. And finding a hand position that suits you, perhaps on your abdomen, perhaps on your waist, maybe cactus arms, or maybe completely above you. Whatever works is fine. Just beginning to slow the nervous system down. The chin is tucked in a little bit. So again, an emphasis on the nervous system, the vagus nerve, the hip, right hip is opening. The extension of the left heel is activating the left leg, both inner and outer. And then very gently come to place your right hand underneath the right thigh, supporting the thigh, the leg, as you bring the right knee upright. And then bend your left knee as well and hug both knees into the chest. Rocking from side to side. And then supporting the right leg as you place the right foot onto the floor, but still hold the left knee into the chest. Hug the left knee into the chest, and very gently let the left knee drift away from you to arm's length. If you then repeat that, hugging the left knee into the chest, and let it drift away. If you want abdominal focus, as you hug the knee in to the chest and let it drift away, rather than letting your hands and arms do the hugging in, very lightly hold the knee and let the abdominal muscles do the hugging in, which will mean that you press your right foot down further into the ground to support you, and you very much engage the lower abdominal muscles to enable that pulling in. So it's a choice of where you want your focus to be. Technically, a yogic classic choice would activate the abdominal core always, and your hands wouldn't have such a big role. But it is very comforting to hold your knee to your chest with your hands. And then just hugging the left knee into the chest. Support the left leg as you place the left foot on the floor. Palms down onto the mat and just sway your knees from side to side. And And then leaving your left foot where it is. And if you want an abdominal focus, you might bring your left foot closer to your bottom and hug your right knee into the chest and choose which focus you want, whether it's abdominal or just comfort, to hug your right knee into the chest. And then just release your hand, your foot down, your right foot down. Palms can rest either on the abdomen or palms down, it doesn't matter. This is very weird. Lift the chin up to the ceiling and no one's looking, just open your mouth and extend your tongue. So opening the jaw like this connects into, apparently the root of the tongue connects into the perineum, and there's also a link into the brain. And people with a lot of dental work apparently are very mucked up here. You've had enough of sticking your tongue out. Bring your head back to normal, and then curl the tip of your tongue up to the roof of the mouth and slide it back towards a soft palate. And that stretches the root of the tongue in another direction, which apparently resonates all the way down through to the perineum, but it would also, we're all connected, link down to the arch of the feet, which I find quite interesting. And just release. You can feel the stretch that you've had on the tongue. Just ease off by slightly rolling the head from side to side. And then I'm going to suggest a support, and I'm going to go and get the blocks. There's nothing for you to do. If you want to experiment with your tongue again, I looked at various diagrams and various muscles have been identified, which I find quite interesting, on the tongue into the brain and the brain tension, extending your tongue. And actually in classic yoga, the lion's breath where you stick your tongue out.
Yeah.
Apparently it has that effect. It's so much more than detoxifying. It goes into bits, which again I find quite interesting. So there are many ways to do this, and you choose the number of blocks you want. So this is putting the block, and again, there's no right or wrong. Maybe I'll do it that way, I'll try. Put your hip, maybe do it that way, put your hip on a block, and effectively you can have support under your head, but I'm just looking for a supported bridge here. That you put your bottom on the block, your chin comes into your chest, your heart is rising slightly, hands can rest on the palms down, or they can rest on your abdomen, whatever works for you. And the elevation, I mean, I'm sure from a medical view you'll tell me that there are various benefits. It's a very easy way to support the body in this position, but also you can optionally open your arms out as well, which will then, you should tuck your shoulders under, open your chest and your heart. So, or you can bring your arms in. It's you to be comfortable. The chin into the chest again has an impact, or it is calming for the nervous system. there are supposed to be little drops of an essence. You've got the doshas, which represent the gross elements in the body, more air or more water or more earth, more fire. But each of those elements has an inner essence that affects our emotional status. And this slightly upside down movement is meant to almost turn our world upside down and alter our perspective, but it's also meant to emotionally, I suppose, unscramble us. It's hard again to think of anything when you're upside down. You can have more extreme, higher supports under the sacral area, where you might turn the blocks the other way or have higher support so that you're up higher. And then that becomes more of a back bend. There's so many variations. And then I wanted to finish with another variation, so keeping your hips entirely where they are. Perhaps lower your arms, palms down alongside you. And obviously if you need to adjust, adjust. Bend one knee in, bend the other knee in. And then if that feels uncomfortable under your lower back, lower your feet and just alter the block slightly. And then from there, it's very easy to bring one foot up and the other foot up, so that you're in a supported inversion. And from the supported inversion, you can opt to have your legs up, just not moving. You can opt to have your heels wide apart and extended so that you're stretching along the inner leg. You can opt to, like you do in shoulder stand, have one foot forward and back, or cross your ankles one way to lift up and then the other way, or just stay simple and just notice the subtle movement. There's almost a subtle circle of your feet connecting into, I don't know if it's gravity, just again, the upside down is supposed to be very helpful hormonal regulation on the endocrine system. Blood to the head, to the heart. If you feel that you want to strengthen your ankles and feet and boost your circulation, you can extend your heels and point your toes. You can circle your ankles in one direction and then circle them in the other direction. Stretching your toes out opens up under the toes where they join the feet underneath on the sole of the foot, and that's opening the lungs. And just releasing and relaxing. And then very gently, when you're ready, bend your knees into your chest. Place your feet onto the floor so you come back to that supported bridge action. And then press your feet into the ground to lift your bottom fractionally. Just slide the blocks out from underneath you. Lower the bottom to the ground. And then perhaps hug the knees into the chest once more. And just very gently rock from side to side. And maybe feel I'm getting a rush of blood at my lower base back level, where I've removed the block and it's just the blood's flooding into the lower back. And then just very gently place your feet onto the ground and just very gently circle the wrists one way and circle them the other way. Bring your hands, if not to the heart, maybe just below the heart, where your hands fall comfortably on the body, your elbows are slightly out. And just take a moment to have your thought for the day, wishing someone or several people or yourself, setting your intention for the day, wishing them well or whatever you want to do. A thought for the day. And then just let that thought go. And in your own time, either come to rolling up or roll to the side and coming up just to finish the class and to breathe off the knots. And